Hello, students. Now you have learned various ways to create arrays and know a lot of actions to perform with them. But how can all this be useful in life? Arrays can be fully utilized only after learning about loops, functions, and other delights. But for now, here is a handy, simple, classic example dedicated to the practical use of arrays. It can be called finding your way home. Imagine you have moved to a new, unfamiliar place and want to explore the area. To avoid getting lost and to find your way back home, along the way, you will record possible landmarks, a phone booth, a shop or a pharmacy, a school, and so on. And on the way back, moving down the list from the end, you will cross off each landmark you encounter. This way, you will always know where to go next. Let's create a string array. We have not yet gone for a walk, and we do not know what landmarks we will come across on our path, so the array will be empty for now. Then, along the way, we will be adding the description of each landmark to the end of the array, using the block array add. And when it's time to return home, we will use the array pop block to extract each landmark we've passed from the array. Press the space bar to start the walk. The first landmark, my house. Then, the bike path. Neon sign. Trash bin. Bakery. School building. Well, that's it. Enough walking. Use P key to output the obtained array to the console. Just to make sure it is filled with values. Start the console. Press space bar to fill the array with values. Then press P to see the completed array. Time to head back home. We move in reverse order with the help of the array pop block. We need to extract items from the array one by one, and it will always be clear where to go next. Take the B key in started mode. Bind it to the array pop block and output the result to the console. Each press will show us the needed landmark from the end of the list to its beginning. In the end, we'll have gone all the way back in reverse and will find ourselves at home. Now for a bit of visualization. We have a location. Let's take a walk around the area, using only the technology we've just learned. To avoid getting lost, we memorize landmarks. By pressing the space bar, we place a marker at the selected location. The coordinates of this point will be recorded at the end of the array using the array add block. A marker will appear in the corner of the screen. This means we have one saved landmark. This is our home, to which we must return. We begin our walk. We move away from home and save another landmark. Crossroad. We turn wherever our eyes lead us. We save another landmark. Entrance to the forest. We continue on. The next landmark will be a well. We pass through a residential area and make another mark at the exit. The next landmark, go to a dried-up forest. Upon entering the forest, we realize that it's time to head back home. Now we need the array pop method. The Q key removes the last landmark from the array, and returns its coordinates to the character control blocks. The character automatically turns towards the landmark and begins moving in the right direction until he approaches it closely. The marker changes color to blue, and in the game interface, there is one less marker. Again, we press the Q key, and the character runs to the next landmark. Among programmers, this way of working with elements is called a stack. Imagine that a stack is like a stack of pancakes. Every time a new pancake is ready, it is placed on top of the stack. This is similar to the array add method, and when you take a pancake to eat, you take it from the top of the stack, just like the array pop method. Removing elements from the stack is similar to traveling back in time. The last element removed is the one that was first in the stack. The same happens with pancakes. The last pancake you eat is the first one that was prepared. In the end, regardless of the number of landmarks, we will return home. Now let's talk about random selection. Using arrays, we can write a program that outputs random elements from a given list. For example, by using a random number as an index, one can obtain a random element from the array. Let's create a new string array and fill it with values. Let it be fruits again. Apple, orange, grape, peach, pear, and of course, a potato. To get the needed element from an array, one can use the ArrayGet block. We connect all this to the print block. We specify the required index and get the needed element. For example, index 0 will return the first element from the list, which is an apple. Now let's connect to the index channel, a random integer block, and set the range from 0 to 6. Now every press of the space bar will output a random fruit to the console. This can be done indefinitely. Fruits may repeat. This is called random sampling with replacement. If we need random sampling without replacement, then we can use the array remove by index block. But this time, as a maximum value, we need to specify the length of the array. Because each time, the array will become shorter by one element. And if the generated index is greater than the length of the array, we will get an error. Thus, the selected element will be removed from the array, so there will be no repeats. Also, we will be limited by the number of attempts. If our array has only 6 elements, it means that we can only make 6 selections from the array. After that, the array will be empty. This scheme prevents repetitions in the selection. Let's add a bit more clarity. Suppose we have a chest. And if we open it, something random from the list of items should fall out. Let's create a folder. We'll stuff it with junk. Now we can use this folder as an array of objects. Another way to select a random element from an array is the random choice block. With this method, we don't need to specify the index of the element. We just connect the array to it. And at the output, we get a random element. We open the chest. Hooray! We got a sword. We can talk about arrays indefinitely. But that's enough for today. It's time to move on to conditions and loops. See you soon.